We now have a giant Fuecoco. I've got 4 Fuecocas right now. I don't care how depressed I feel right now. You want to know why? Because we're finally going to talk about the movie that has been pissing me off the last month. Digimon, the movie. And the reason my other hand's off screen is so I can do an edit.
What the fuck was that?
So, why talk about the Digimon movie? Well, if you've been on the hellhole that is X right now, / Twitter, Ochan30 and Digirama just finished up the Digimon Season 2, Digimon's Adventure 02, because I'm dumb and I ramble. So, I've been occasionally joining in on episode talks. The last one was, of course, the last episode, which drove Digirama to an insane rant. But at the same time, I've wanted to cover this movie since they started those, because the movie itself is it's a fucking train wreck from hell, in case you can't tell from the title. But I digress.
Too late.
The first problem this movie had was it was doomed from the start thanks to Fox. Now, this came out in the year 2000. Nothing bad there. Some good anime movies. Some bad ones. A little thing called Pokemon the Movie 2000 came out in July. The problem became that Fox wanted to do the same thing Fox always does, which is essentially, fuck it, we're just going to do it all at once. Now, the reason I say that, all at once, is because technically Digimon movie is 3 films. I am not counting that piece of shit Angel Anaconda at the beginning, even though every bootleg I usually buy or find on the internet has the Angel Anaconda short at the beginning. Because unlike Pokemon the first movie, Pokemon 2000, and Pokemon the third movie, where if you play the movie, the short that's at the beginning is usually, segregated to another part of the disc. Nope. Angel Anaconda is actually part of the runtime for Digimon the movie. All 88 minutes. Remember that number. It's going to hurt in a bit. You see, the movie is split up into 3 parts. Digimon Adventure, a prequel that was explained throughout this first series. Little guy's trying to sleep. Let's just let him sleep. Second film, which was released with another movie the same year, was Digimon Adventure R War Games. That focused on Tai and Izzy, and we're gonna get into the big part of this movie right real quick, aren't we? The movie doesn't shut the fuck up. Like the anime it's based on, the series has a very bad problem in America of not shutting the fuck up. The soundtrack is blaring everywhere. There's jokes that make no damn sense. You want a 3-bean salad? No, ma'am. That's okay. I only had 2 beans. That is fucking stuck in my head for the rest of my life. Along with those stupid beef jerky shakes, which don't exist. You'd think they would by this point. This country has gotten fucking insane with health sometimes. No beef jerky shake. Christ. Oh, we'll get to the rest of those bad jokes later. The next part is Digimon Adventure 02, the Hurricane Touchdown. It's actually 2 films, which had a movie from Magical Do-Re-Mi in the middle. That's the American title. I don't want to look up the Japanese one because my head's gonna keep hurting. But that part, the third part of the film, was originally 65 minutes. So War Game was 40 minutes. Altogether, you have 125 minutes of footage. And once again, like I said, I'm going to say now, this film was 88 minutes long. They cut out about 40 minutes of footage out of the film. And kept Angel Anaconda in on the runtime. You don't see it, but my hand is curled up into a claw because I'm enraged. So, what was cut from that 40 plus minutes? I'm wondering. I don't know, because by the time I'm recording this, I don't have the Blu-ray that came out. I didn't buy it because I thought it would, I could just find like Hurricane Touchdown and our War Game and start editing with that and finding out what was missing. But no, I could not find a decent download for those because I wanted the actual original voice acting and bad fan subs or whatever because I wanted a comparison to the 2000 edit. I did find the original movie from fucking Saban. That movie is 88 minutes long. That piece of shit contains Angel Anaconda and part of the runtime. So if you take Angel Anaconda out of the damn mix, you got a movie that's barely 80 minutes long. They sold this for money. And I'm literally losing my shit over this, and I'm really freaking horrified by that fact. Can we just post a clip of me not losing?
This isn't funny!
Thank you. Anyway, the movie's not shutting the fuck up in the beginning. There are some scenes that I'm just going to mention. The under the bed scene with Kari and the blob, the baby Digimon in Japan, it's silent until the bubbles start happening. That's because she doesn't play her whistle until then. It's just beep, whistle, boop, whistle, boop, whistle, and then it just gets... It's a joke that makes sense. But in America, we have to smash people's heads over the head with the fucking Digimon theme. And I'll get to the soundtrack later in the video, because it's a fucking monster. But anyway, we got that joke. We got characters who don't shut the fuck up throughout the entire movie. I understand I'm not shutting the fuck up. But I'm, A, on cough syrup right now, so I don't hemorrhage a lung. But, and B, I'm not making a fucking movie. I'm reviewing your movie, and I say you did horrible. Well, the movie doesn't breathe, is what I'm saying. It does not breathe properly. Something the Pokemon movies got correct. The first three, at least, I think. I didn't watch anything after. I think I watched Forever. It's been a long time. But they knew when to be quiet and when to breathe. They knew when to just not have anyone talking. They knew not to smash the fucking soundtrack from the first movie over our heads like a fucking shovel. What I'm saying is, somehow, 4Kids had more insight into making a movie proper than Saban, who had made, let's count it, a couple of movies before this, including Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. And they had to make their own suits for that one, so what the fuck is their excuse this time? They had a script they could work off of, but unfortunately, there's another issue in this movie. Now, it's something Digimon brought up a lot. It's stupid series, be more funny. I'm paraphrasing there. Digirama, don't quote me on that. But essentially, this movie is full of jokes. Even times when it should be sorrow and there should be some flat moments, more jokes pile up. Like I've said, it doesn't shut the fuck up.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Pen. Anyway, it's just amazing that this thing made triple its budget. It had a $5 million budget. I was shocked. I thought it was going to do worse than that because I was there opening night. They hyped this thing all the time on TV, and the fucking movie had the balls to hype it up during the fucking movie. No one should do that. No one should be this fucking up their own ass. But this movie is. I need a minute. It's water. Shut up. But still, it pales to the soundtrack, which is a train wreck of epic proportions. I can't play any of it because, copyrights and issues, and YouTube fillets copyright holders more than they care about people being harassed on this fucking platform. They have a remix of the Digimon theme done by a guy called MCP Pod, which I swear was on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You've got Smash Mouth's All-Star, which at this point is the biggest prostitute in movie making, because it's in every soundtrack by that point. It started with Mystery Men, and then it's all the way to Shrek. This predated Shrek, by the way. This was like a year or two before Shrek. You've got the Rockefeller Skank, or Shank, I don't know, I'm not reading it. You've got some weird, crap alt-rock bands from the 90s that they probably got cheap. You've got Bare Naked Ladies with their hit from 1997. And it makes no sense in the context of the movie. It doesn't make any sense in the context of life. But who cares? Then, of course, the fact they couldn't fill this thing with anyone else. Not even joking, half the soundtrack is a television soundtrack. One track alone actually has a minute of dead air after it. Seriously. Some CDs used to tell you if a song was going to have dead air because of like programming or stuff like that. Or if they would have dead air to set up for the next track. Because, you know, having a few seconds of dead air between each song actually helps at the end. Because of transitioning and stuff like that. No. If you rip this track from the CD, you get a whole minute of dead air included. Their movie is so bad, they padded their fucking soundtrack time with dead air. And this is the CD version. I hate to see what the fuck the cassette was like. And I did look it up. There was a cassette. I can't find it. This was $20. I've gone on a tangent off the fucking movie, haven't I? God, this movie was terrible. This was a terrible idea of a movie. Like, the plan was, some of the writers wanted to just release the first two parts as a, like, either the first two parts as a direct-to-video special, a direct-to-television or video special, and then release the third part as its own movie. But Saban didn't want that, and Fox Kids didn't want that, and they wanted it to be on the fucking theater screen. And then, of course, then you have the standards and practices of Fox Kids, where with their Be More Funny fucking diatribe, and them editing out allusions to death, because things apparently don't fucking die on Fox Kids. I've seen fucking Power Rangers on that show network die. You have a television network essentially telling them, adapt this movie for theaters, these movies to the big screen, but adapt them as if they were going to television first. And that doesn't work. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but like, I get angry enough my glasses start falling, and it's ridiculous. You have a TV network who has a cash cow on their hands. They could have had a multimedia franchise. They turned Power Rangers into a thing. But because of shit like this, Digimon never had a fucking chance. Keep in mind, I know Pokemon is big, the video games, the toys, the movies, but Fox had a role in the last year with stuff like Star Wars Episode 1. They could have literally had another hit, but they didn't want to put the work in. They didn't want to adapt it properly. They didn't want to edit it properly because they, cut 40 fucking minutes from the damn movie. They didn't want to make a story proper. They didn't want to make the movie proper. And I forgot the soundtrack. They didn't want to make a good soundtrack. So what happened with the soundtrack that I keep getting bitchy about? They had one actual exclusive track. Now, I'm going to talk about the Pokemon, the first movie soundtrack a little bit, because I still think it bangs. It had every artist that was popular at the time, minus the Backstreet Boys. You had an NSYNC exclusive. You had Britney Spears. You had Christina Aguilera. You had M2M. You had Aaron Carter, Vitamin C. You had hits. You had hit makers on your track. I swear to God, there needs to be a movie on the creation of that soundtrack. You know who they got for Digimon the movie? Len, who hadn't had a hit for years, to make a cover of Kids in America that sounds so dull. Like, I've listened to plenty of covers in my life. I love music covers. Honestly, I can't get enough of them. Like, learning like how they make some covers and seeing people who respect them, I love them. Hell, I got a whole friggin' playlist on my phone of covers. This cover is so energyless. So boring. It's like thinking out that. It sounds like if Hatsune Miku was on opioids. And then meanwhile, the next year or the year after, you get Jimmy Neutron's cover of Kids in America by No Secret, or No Secret the other. Man, I like these compilations are all crossing over, and it's getting my head hurt. But essentially, you have someone with more energy. And keep in mind also, like I mentioned with Smash Mouth, it made more sense to have them on the Shrek soundtrack, because they did a cover of I'm a Believer, which, by the way, I want to know if I'm the only one who had this issue. My copy had this different version of I'm a Believer that didn't sound anything like I'm a Believer. Post in the comments, I don't care. But essentially, I needed that more than you would think. Oh god. Okay, so bottom line, I don't like this movie. I think you can tell that at this point. Bottom line, I'm exhausted. I think you can tell that at this point. Bottom line, I don't know how the fuck this movie came to exist. It's like no one wanted it. Like, it made money, but it didn't make a lot. It made $15 million off of $5 million. And if you know Fox, they'll kill anything. Actually, fuck it. If you know the industry now, they would have killed anything if it didn't make $50 trillion. The writers didn't want this the way this was. The translators didn't want it. No one wanted it the way it was released. The good news is Discotek released the films in their proper format this month. Or next month. Like, I've seen people get their discs this month, so for all I know, I'm weird. But anyway, you know, at least there's now an official way to watch the originals. And even better, they're dubbed. They're dubbed now. They dubbed the originals. The original 20-minute run, the original 40-minute run, the original 65-minute run. They're all dubbed now, which is good. Because I don't think I could have survived if I had to rewatch these only as the original. Like, I might get the re-release with the new stuff soon. And I'm sorry there's a cup in the thing, but I needed my water this match. Oh, God. Anyway. Get the Discotek release. Because it does contain the bad version, which we've just spent like 10 plus minutes fucking yelling about. But it also contains those undubbed versions. And this is volume 1, they said. So they're probably going to be doing Diaboromon Strikes Back, which is the 4th film, which Saban did not do. That was Disney. And the Tamers films, which was also a Disney production, I'm thinking, because they were all done. They were voiced and everything. So either Saban held on to them for the rest of their natural lives, or Disney did the dub and released it later. Which, hooray for them. Maybe they didn't have an idiotic suit man screaming, "Stop it, making more money!" While spitting vile and everything. It's been a tough few weeks. I'm not going to lie. And if I sound angry, I'm sorry. I swear the next few reviews will be a little more happier. Hey, I decided to record one more segment for this video to replace the actual outro that was originally recorded. Essentially, I wanted to say thank you for everyone who's helped the channel for the last few months. I want to thank the few people who donated towards the vet bills we've had. I want to thank everyone who subscribed to my videos and watches anything from this stupid video that I just edited together for the first time doing actual editing to the people who watch my animal shorts. So, just thanks. And we'll have a new outro in the future. But until then, I just want to keep saying thank you. And if you liked my videos, thank you. And if you want to like my videos and subscribe, thank you again to anyone new who comes here. We do stupid shit on this channel. And you all enjoy it. So thanks.